back again tonight, and we got some more scarves to cut. Some more, now we just have more scarves to cut. So what I'm going to do with this that I didn't do on the first floor and I probably should have done, I fit the first couple together for the first floor as I was cutting them. And I just got impatient and wanted to get stuff up in the air, so I started putting stuff up and then cutting as I went, which that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have had everything cut first and then raised it. It would have been a lot faster, a lot easier. But with the top plates, because the top plates aren't as easy always to line up, and I need to make sure these are perfect when I go to put them up in the air, because once I get them things up there resting over top of those wall posts, I don't want to have a lot of room for error, and I don't want to have to be taking it back down to make adjustments as I go. So tonight what we're going to do, I'm going to try to get at least one more scarf cut in here, and I'm going to try to get it test fit tonight. We'll see what we can do with it. So stay tuned. I will catch you on the other side of the joint cutting for a little bit of commentary. Well, I was going to have this thing all test fit for you guys tonight, but remember how I told you that I had one timber I milled the other day that got out of whack pretty good? Now this was the one, and so there's a little bit of screwing around with it, and I got a nice big knot cluster right in the middle of it. It shouldn't affect it structurally. We're just about into the heartwood right there. So it should be alright. Of course, it looks like I got a little out of center on this one too. This log was just all goofed up on me. But this is why we leave the line. Now I still have just a vague hint of a pencil line there still. And that is so important to leave that. Because what will end up happening, if you don't leave that pencil line and you have to make adjustments like this, you're going to drop down too far, and then your measurements are going to be off, and then it's not going to work, and you are not going to be happy. I could always tell you guys how I know, but you already know the answer every time I say that. So I want to make sure I'm 5 inches down through here consistently. Because remember, this underside here is actually my reference face. This thing's going to be flipped up. And that's going to, I want all this on the same plane as the piece that it's tying into. And that's simply put for our rafters. We want our rafters just right on this. But it's not going too bad though. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. Tell you what, I had a hell of a day for view counts today. It's the largest I've had in months. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, we've been plugging along steady here on the channel, and it's been a lot of fun. Tell you what, I've gotten to meet some very interesting commenters and viewers, and you know, talk to them. I say meet, talk to them over the crazy internet, but it's a lot of fun. I like my regulars, you know, Thomas Russell. Now Thomas, he notices everything out of place, but he's funny about it. You know, I always get a chuckle out of it. And a few other you guys. You know what I haven't seen in a while is Tools Consumable. Hope everything's alright with him. But, anyhow. Now, I told you guys before, when you get something totally out of square, you have to measure from your eris and your reference face, or your adjacent face and your reference face. You have to measure off of that corner, that eris, every time. I'm going to show you how that works out right here. Now, I need my open mortise here. I need that to line up square, the piece below it. So I'm not going to square up off of this side because this side's out of square. I want to square from this side and this adjacent face. So it's a lot of holding of the square and a lot of stuff like that, but that's how you got to measure it. Because if I just, say I measure off of this side that's a little bit out of whack, it's going to throw that joint off just enough where it's not going to fit the way you want it to. You want it to fit the way you want to. You're putting a lot of time into making this thing nice, making it right, so you got to try to keep that accuracy. I mean, if you don't, it's probably not like the building's going to fall down if you have some discrepancies here and there. I mean, I have a few here and there. The learning curve's big on stuff like this. But like I've said quite a few times, the more attention you pay to that detail to try to make it as perfect as you can, the better the structure you're going to get and the better you're going to feel about it. Now, I've got some mistakes in here, but it's been nothing that people have really noticed, you know what I mean? But I notice them. I notice it every time I walk in here and I look up and say, oh, wow, look at that piece of shit, you know? But that keeps you honest. That keeps you going in the right direction. If you could pick out your little flaws that nobody else can, it's going to keep you honest. And when you're doing something like this, keeping yourself honest is kind of important. It's going to keep you rolling in the right direction. I know I'm rambling. Just been a good day. Now, except for the fact I had to go to work, you know, that kind of sucked, but somebody told me I got to feed my kids and pay the mortgage. So, I don't know who that was, but wasn't my idea, I'll tell you that. Now let's see if this thing's even parallel. And it is not. So let me move the camera so I can show you guys something here. I don't know if you guys could see it. That friggin' light. I can't seem to get that light quite right. But I have a mark right there, measured off of the adjacent face. And I have a mark right there. Now these marks are both down here and up here. They're both measured off of the adjacent face. I'm going to run my square right here off of the bottom of this top plate, and we're going to see if these measurements line up. And I bet you they do not. The hat out of the way. Okay, so that's off probably a good 1/16 of an inch on this one. Now it's actually off closer to an 1/8. That one's off about a 1/16. So that's why you want to measure off of that eris for everything. That's the whole idea of a square rule frame. It makes it so you can cut everything consistently and get everything to line up. Now here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. Now I'm going to kerf. I'm going to cut this out with my big saw. But I'm going to hold inside of the lines. Let's see which way we're running out of square on this. This is the beauty of milling your own lumber. Sometimes you get out of whack on something. So you see which way we're out of square there? That friggin' light, I tell you what, let's see if I can get you better here. There, you can see that, can't you guys? That's how bad out of square this bottom is. I got way off on this. I think the biggest problem I had was I tried to stretch a blade out too far, and there was some knots in this timber. And that one's not as bad. So when I go to cut this out, I am going to use my saw. And what I'm going to do, I'm either going to take and match the angle of this, or I'm just going to hold inside my line a little bit so that I don't carry past this point, because I could chisel that off easy enough. So I think that's probably what we're going to do with that. Now, since this part right here was matched up with my reference face and my adjacent face, I'm going to square off of this though. I will square off of this part to get my lines. Now remember, guys, that tenon that's going in here, that may be 6 inches long, but it's just like any other tenon you're going to do. Carry this open mortise, carry that beyond just a little bit so that you have room for shrinkage in your timbers. Because what's going to happen is you cut that tight, and this thing shrinks a little bit longitudinally, or the lengthwise, which white pine doesn't do a lot of that, but it is going to do it some. It's going to squeeze into that tenon you have there, and it's going to put pressure on the joint that you don't want. You want these joints kind of tight, but you also want them to be able to float's kind of a poor choice of words, but I can't think of a better one. You want to float a little bit. You want it snug, but you need to have it enough room you got to have enough room in there for changes in your moisture and stuff like that, because you're building with green timbers. But anyhow, I'm going to cut that out and all that good stuff, and we're gonna keep going. I'll probably finish this guy tomorrow night and fit it tomorrow night. I was hoping to do it tonight, but I'm running out of time and steam.